What up, what up? It's your girl Kelly coming at you from the Queen Bee Tarot straight out of Boston. Yes, I am an Aries reader. People keep asking me that. What sign am I? What sign am I? I am an Aries sun, a Leo moon, and a Pisces rising. The Pisces doesn't make it in there too much. I think it kind of gets beat up by my fire signs. I'm not overly emotional or, I am kind of a dreamer, I'll say that, but I'm not completely Pisces. I think my fire just kind of eats my Pisces alive, the poor thing. But anyway, I am here to do your mid-monthlies, but there's some updates I kind of wanted to give you guys, which I had to write down. Normally it's up here, but where I have a concussion, I need you guys to be a little bit patient with me, because what I'm trying to say and what actually is coming out of my mouth is like applesauce, and it's driving me crazy, but this is what I want to do, and my business schedule is way behind. My subscribers have stopped because I've been so sick that I haven't been able to get on here and do your readings and do what I usually do. So I still want this page and this community to keep it moving. I may have to take time out. I told you guys I am sick, but it doesn't stop me. Nothing stops me. I'll never, ever give up, and I'll never give up on you guys. I always have this positive Aries energy, and I'm ready to help anybody. I just ask that you be fair and you respect each other on this page. It's all about authenticity. It's all about showing your true self and who you are. And that's why today I said, you know what? I'm going to get on there in my true self. This is me. Most of you may see it in a different way, but this is me. And so I want this to be about all authenticity, coming out as who you are, being in who you are, living in your truth. And you can only do that by facing yourself spiritually. But I do have some updates, planetary updates, which I hate having to write down and look at. But, with a brain like applesauce here going on, I kind of had to. So we've got Uranus spinning in retrograde, and that's going to enter Aries around November 6th. Yes, it's still there, but I think it's downgraded to a sinus infection rather than full-blown pneumonia. I took care of it well enough. But we've got Uranus, which is retrograde in Taurus right now, but it will be retrograde in Aries come November 6th. So I got, I kind of roll it back, Kelly. Want you guys to understand that it is coming. It's in Taurus now. Actually, my Venus is in Taurus, so I'm already feeling it. But it is coming for November 6th, 2018. Neptune in retrograde in Pisces. So I'm feeling that too, which is a good time with all of this craziness going on. And applesauce here. That's my new nickname, applesauce, until we clear up this whole head issue. I'm feeling it as well. And it doesn't spin clockwise until November 23rd. So we've still got a couple months of, not only the lunar eclipse energy, which I mentioned before, which just kind of sits for 6 months over all of us. And it's like a dark cloud, and it just sits there. And it causes confusion. It causes chaos. It causes all those, fun things that we love dealing with in life. Some things never change. My head might be messed up, but my taste buds aren't. The one thing I will say is you won't see me smoking. I am actually down to a pack every 3 days. And it's a promise that I've made to myself that I will be quitting soon. Again, I quit for 3 years, and I started when I got really, really sick again. So you won't be seeing me smoking. That's a plus. So I hope you guys are proud of me, because making goals during this time isn't easy. This is kind of weird, because Pluto is retrograde in Capricorn, but it stays in Capricorn long enough to turn and go clockwise. God, this applesauce. It stays in Capricorn long enough to turn clockwise instead of counterclockwise. And that happens on September 29th, I believe, if my brain isn't too smushy. September 29th. Chiron is still in retrograde in Aries. just so you guys know, we still have Chiron kind of sitting there, hanging over us in retrograde, and it's going to remain there. And then lucky me, it moves to Pisces in retrograde. So here's your girl who's an Aries, and I've been dealing with Chiron in retrograde for months now, and then now it's going to move to Pisces. And that's supposed to happen around, I think, September 24th, if I'm correct. I didn't write down all the dates specifically because, you know, give or take wherever you are, it can happen first. If you guys are kind of, you know, 12 hours ahead of us or a whole day ahead of us, depending on where you are, Australia, that kind of thing. So just know that Chiron is still retrograde with the lunar eclipse energy kind of hanging over us. And we've got Uranus and Neptune plus Pluto in retrograde at the same time. There was a new dramatic moon on September 6th. It was Leo 18 degrees, I believe. And so that brought about when I say new and dramatic, it brought about new emotions, ways of expressing yourself, finding different ways to express yourself. You were kind of feeling blocked, stuck. So all of you may be now feeling like you can move forward, find different ways to express yourself, better ways. It's kind of like that Ace of Wands and taking a new mental journey, and the Hanged Man, where you go inside and you see the world in a different way, and so your perspective changes. And it could be that it's coming with age, it could be that it's coming with experience, or it could be that the universe, I promise you, is forcing change upon you. If you do not move with the ebb and flow of change and the ebb and flow of the tide of the moon and the sun and the way that they are married and work, the universe will force you to move on and will force you to gain a new perspective. And it's never pretty when the universe has to force you, because usually you lose everything and then you have to start from the bottom up. And then and only then, when you have no choice but to change, you see that it really wasn't that bad. And if you had just let go in the beginning, you wouldn't be facing losing everything. And when I say losing everything, I'm talking tower moment. I'm talking your foundations break down. Everything breaks down because the universe is telling you it's time to move on to the next karmic lesson. So get it rolling. Let's see. The new moon will also cause like a power shift. So if you're feeling like a power struggle with family members and friends and figuring out who's real, it's really coming out now. Who's real and who's fake. I just went through that after my surgery. I really figured out who's real, who's fake, who's really going to be there for me, and who's going to dodge out, who's going to bounce, who's going to swear. And it was kind of shocking for me because, you know, people I expected to really be there for me, that I would be there for in a heartbeat, now that I'm back home, weren't there at all. So it's going to be shocking. It's going to be a real struggle with that power shift. You're really going to have to look at it and wonder who's bringing you closer to your destiny and who is bringing you further away. So I need you guys to really take a look at your lives and take a look at who needs to go and who needs to stay. I know that the sun, moon, and Mercury form an apex. And so there are changes that are happening very publicly. Like I said, the tower will humiliate you if you don't let go and go with the ebb and flow of change, and go with the ebb and flow of letting go of your soulmates who are just lessons and moving toward your divine partner. What you're working for is worth it. That divine partner, that twin flame, that split apart theory is worth it, but you have to work for it. And there will be a lot going on behind the scenes, but the changes that happen will be public and kind of embarrassing, because it's literally forcing you with all the retrograde to say, okay, your life is not working this way. You need to do it another way. And I, as the universe, have tried to tell you several times, you're not listening. You're not getting that lesson. You're not following the ebb and flow and tide of change in life in the way that it constantly changes. There are only two things that are for sure: time, and that you're dying from the moment you're born. It can sound bad to you, or you can accept the reality of it. Every minute we get closer to dying. You have to live in the moment. And for some of you that aren't Aries or fire signs, the idea of living in the moment is the scariest thing in the world, especially for like earth signs. I know that Virgo and Capricorn are very slow to things, but it's challenging you to live in the moment and accept those changes. When an apex happens like that, you can always expect a tower moment, but the universe will give you the pieces to rebuild. So always know that even though the tower comes and the universe tears you down, it's only to build you up better. So you leave all the things that weren't working behind, including people, friends, family. It doesn't matter. You can make your own family. I've never thought blood was thicker than water. That's one thing I've learned in my life, is that you can make your own family. And that's what I'm doing on here. I'm making my own family who's understanding, who's caring, who's authentic, who wants to stand in their truth and not live in societal norms of being fake and not being true to who you are, just going with the flow, going with the masses, the sheeple, as I like to refer to them. Be different. Be yourself. Be unique. Be eccentric. Be weird. Be eclectic. Be whatever you are that sets you apart from everyone else. Being a sheeple isn't cute. Have your own opinions. Be opinionated. Be strong. Stand up. That's what the apex is all about, is transforming yourself and transforming your life. So you have huge opportunities, even with all this retrograde. It's tearing down all the old for you to bring in the new you and a better you. So here's your chance to strip down to authenticity. And I don't mean strip down in my readings. Please keep your clothes on. I don't want any funky stuff in my community. Don't be, don't be turning it into the dating site. Don't be doing all that kind of stuff. This is not Facebook. We're here to be authentic and help each other and be a real family. So I know that the moon was at a perigee, which is the closest point that the moon gets to the earth, which was around, I believe, September 8th or 9th, which is interesting too. Which is interesting too, with that perigee happening right in the middle of all that retrograde and Chiron and all of this craziness and the lunar eclipse. I mean, we've literally had like a war going on upstairs, and some of us are majorly affected depending on our birth charts. I, for one, got nailed to the wall. I got comments from another girl. She was in a head-on collision sitting in a parked car. And 1,000 other things happened in her life, kind of like mine. It was just like the domino effect. One thing started and forget it. It was all over. So, I kind of want you guys to understand that a lot of where this is coming from the planetary movement and the way it moves in and out of our charts. And depending on your entire chart is how it's going to affect you. So some of you may be like, what is she talking about? And some of you may be like, oh my God, finally someone said it. Like, life has been hell for like the past couple months. Yes, it has. Trust me, I am one of those people who life has been hell for. But we got a new moon in Virgo on September 9th, which was interesting because it teaches us to slow down too. So in the middle of that, we've got the perigee, where the moon is closest to the earth. We've got all of these planetary movements and changes that are all retrograde. At one point, we had 6 in retrograde, plus I think Chiron as well, if my memory serves me correctly. And then we get a new moon in Virgo on September 9th, which causes us to pull back and stop and analyze the hell out of everything. That's your moment to get rid of everything and to build a boss. I always say, be a boss, date a boss, build an empire. And that's what I've done with my life. I've built an empire. It may be a little slow on the rising right now, but the things that I have done in my life, I have lived it to the fullest. I have built that empire as a strong, independent, single woman. It's giving you the opportunity to do the same thing and get rid of that and build a new you. Full moon, harvest moon, is in 1 degree Aries, coming on September 24th and 25th around 8:55 or so. I didn't write it down. I just know that the new moon is in Aries and it is the harvest moon. So around September 24th or 25th, depending on where you are, you will be seeing a new moon in Aries. I can't tell you what that's going to be like because right now Aries is really getting hit hard with a lot of these things, depending on how much fire's in your chart. So I can't tell you what that's going to look like. It could be disastrous, and it could be the change that we need to finally break through all of this energy that I keep feeling. It's kind of, I feel like suspension. Like there's been a lot of suspension for every single sign. Like nothing is moving. It's like a dark cloud just sitting over us. So I'm hoping that that full moon in Aries will bring about rapid change, because Aries is all about rapid change, taking chances, being bold, being very brave, going in where angels fear to tread, being a CEO, being a boss, being on top of your game, on top of your world. So I'm hoping that kind of breaks through with the harvest moon and gives everybody a chance to kind of make the changes they need. After the Virgo moon, you go right into the Aries moon, which is action, action, action. So start taking action, guys. Get your lives in order, get rid of all the bullshit, and maybe we'll avoid some of this planetary storm that we've been seeing. The September equinox is coming too. September 22nd, I believe, is the correct date. I'm not a date person per se, but I like the fact that I can keep it up here, and that's what I'm trying to do right now, is bring my brain back to a place where I can read to you without having to take notes on planetary things, just little things, that simple things I couldn't remember. It should be around September 22nd. We're going to have the September equinox. It means when an equinox comes in, it means that the day is almost the same all over the world, which is amazing to think about because it's literally almost 12 hours long in every single place in the world. That's important. That is amazing that the Earth, we have people who are 24 hours ahead of us. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, if you are in, oh my goodness, I can't even think, applesauce, Australia. If you're in Australia, I believe it's a 24-hour flight to you guys. Or any of the islands over there. So that could happen, you know, the 23rd, or where we're on the 21st still, it could happen on your 22nd, where the day is 12 hours long and it's equally long all around the world. So that's coming too. So I just kind of wanted to give you guys an update planetary on what's going on and what you can expect, the energy you can expect, and the best thing to do is go with it. Those of you who hate change and fight it at all costs, my poor earth signs, you're going to get dragged along with it. If you're going against the grain, you're going to get dragged with it. There is no choice here, and that's what I'm trying to tell you, is there's no option. It's either do it or the universe breaks your life down for you and makes you rebuild into the better person that you can be. And I'd love to see you guys transforming on here with me, because I'm going through major transformations with, you know, not being able to dance, not being able to move, not being able to sleep right, not being able to get up in the morning until my medication works. And I need to share those transformations, because then maybe you guys will understand from my business perspective why I have not been able to sit in front of this camera, and I have a fractured tailbone. So sitting in front of this camera for long periods of time is not easy. I'm sitting on my little waffle. You guys can make fun of me. It's fine. I broke my ass. But if you notice, I've been trying to curb in my B-girl swearing a lot, and try and focus more on the issue at hand, because it's going to come out. I'm an Aries, and the collective energy of Aries is that they swear, they jump into things, and they don't necessarily think about it, and they get in there and they go, ah, fuck, what am I doing? How do I get out of this? Ooh. I'm an Aries. I've done it. I'm capable. I've tried to reel my Aries in. It doesn't work. Aries does what it wants. When you are a first decan Aries, even second and third moving into Taurus, first decan, you cannot control that Aries at all. We are just eclectic, unique, and no filter. So anyway, guys, that's the updates I have for you in terms of the planetary movements and what you're kind of looking forward to. So kind of in your mind, even if you have to replay this and write down what each of these planets are, you're going to have Uranus, Neptune, Pluto in retrograde. Chiron is still in retrograde in Aries. You're going to have that 6-month energy span where the lunar eclipse is kind of still taking over your life. You had an apex with, I think it's starting to heal. You had an apex with the sun, moon, and Mercury where changes will happen publicly. It's almost like public humiliation, but at the same time, if you went with the ebb and flow of things, it would have been much easier for you. Like Aries, we're just like, okay, change it. Like I cut off, my hair was down to my waist before I started doing these videos. I cut it all off. Just sudden changes. Go with the flow. The more you fight against it, the more problems you're going to have. And it's going to be public. Your family will see it. Maybe it ends up on Facebook. Someone posts your bullshit. I don't know. What I do know is it's very public. So keep in mind, if you have to play this back again and look at all the changes and how they're going to affect your readings and how they're going to affect what I see, please do, because it may mean that it may not resonate with some of you because you're not understanding how the planetary alignment deals with your sign and your birth chart. And if any of you are wanting to learn and get more of your birth chart information, a full birth chart, come to me. I can give you a full birth chart. I need your name, where you were born, and the time you were born, as well as your date of birth. So those are the 4 things that I require to get a full birth chart. Unfortunately, if you don't know the time you were born or where you were born, you get just kind of half of your chart. You don't get your houses. You get, your Mercury and your Venus, and you'll get all that information, and you'll get a good idea of where your Chiron, your Ceres, your Juno, and all of that is, your Fortune. It's just I've seen it change when the birth time changes. So try to be as on point with that as you can. Get back to me. Let me know if you want your birth chart information. I'd be more than happy to supply it for you. And with that, I'm out. So you guys go with the ebb and flow. That's my best advice coming from Applesauce. This is your girl Kelly, straight out of Boston. I will be seeing you guys in a little while when I upload the Aries reading, and I know y'all been waiting for it, but it's coming. I'll catch y'all later.